If you can't stay focused for more than 5 minutes, if every time you pick up your phone you lose hours of your life, then your brain may be addicted to dopamine and you don't even realize it. Do you feel that something is quietly happening inside your mind? Right now, as you're watching this video, one part of your brain is asking a very simple question: stay focused or look for something more pleasurable. That battle doesn't happen just once. It happens hundreds, even thousands of times every day. Every notification that appears, every time you pick up your phone, every moment you're about to start something important but unconsciously open social media instead. This is not just a lack of focus. It is a self-control crisis unfolding in the modern world. And if you don't understand what's really happening, you will continue trading your biggest goals for tiny rewards that arrive in just a few seconds. The problem is that your brain was not designed to make you successful. It was designed to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, conserving energy was one of the most important survival advantages. As a result, the brain developed a very simple mechanism: always look for the easiest path. Whenever it faces a choice, it immediately begins calculating. Will this require a lot of effort? Will the reward come right away? If the answer is yes to effort and no to immediate reward, your brain will naturally try to pull you toward the easier option. If your brain is programmed to seek the path of least resistance, then the modern world has turned that tendency into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Every time you open your phone, thousands of engineers and behavioral psychologists are competing for one thing: your attention. Every short video, every notification, every like. Each one is carefully designed to activate your brain's reward system. You don't need effort, you don't need patience, just one tap and dopamine arrives instantly. Your brain is not weak. It is being attacked every single day. If you've ever lost hours of your life scrolling on your phone, comment 1 below. To understand why you're so easily distracted, you first need to understand what dopamine really is. Many people call dopamine the happiness chemical, but that's not entirely accurate. Dopamine doesn't make you enjoy the reward. It makes you crave the reward. It is released when your brain predicts that something pleasurable might be about to happen. That's why you keep checking your phone. Keep scrolling for more. Keep searching for the next piece of content. Because your brain is constantly convinced that the next reward could be just one more tap away. But this is where things start to become dangerous. Every time you get an easy dopamine hit, your brain learns to want more of it. It gradually becomes addicted to rewards that are fast and effortless. Over time, activities that once felt engaging begin to seem boring. A book becomes harder to read. A workout becomes harder to start. An important project begins to feel overwhelming, not because you're lazy, but because your brain has become accustomed to instant rewards. And anything that requires patience starts to feel less and less appealing. This is where most people get it wrong. When you can't focus, can't get started, or keep procrastinating, it doesn't mean you're weak, and it doesn't mean you lack willpower. In many cases, your brain has simply been trained the wrong way. It has become accustomed to rewards that arrive instantly, so when it is faced with long-term goals, it doesn't feel enough motivation to take action. You are not fighting laziness. You are fighting a reward system that has been programmed in the wrong direction. The good news is that your brain is not fixed. It is constantly changing in response to what you repeatedly do every day. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. Every thought, every action, every habit is creating new connections inside your brain. That means if your brain can learn to love distraction, it can also learn to love focus. If it can be programmed by instant rewards, it can also be reprogrammed through discipline. And that is where real change begins. So how do you bring your brain back into balance? This is where the concept of a dopamine detox comes in. Despite the name, the goal is not to eliminate dopamine from your body. That would be impossible. Instead, you're temporarily removing the sources of overstimulation that are constantly hijacking your brain's attention. The short videos, the mindless scrolling, the instant rewards. When you reduce these powerful stimuli, your brain has a chance to reset its natural reward system. And that is the first step toward regaining control of yourself. When you begin cutting back on easy sources of dopamine, something interesting happens. At first, you may feel restless, uncomfortable, even bored. That's because your brain is craving the level of stimulation it has become accustomed to receiving every day. But if you persist through that phase, your reward system gradually begins to reset. Activities that once felt boring start to become enjoyable again. Reading becomes easier. Focused work becomes more natural. Exercise feels less like a struggle. You are not becoming a new person. You are simply returning to the state your brain was naturally designed to be in. But before things get better, you'll have to go through a phase that isn't pleasant at all. During the first few days, you may feel restless. You may constantly want to pick up your phone, constantly look for something to entertain yourself. Silence begins to feel uncomfortable. Focus starts to feel exhausting. Many people think this is a sign that the method isn't working, but the truth is exactly the opposite. It's a sign that your brain is adapting, learning how to function without relying on constant, instant rewards. And if you can make it through this stage, real change will begin to appear. So where should you begin? First, identify the source of easy dopamine that is consuming the most time in your life. It might be TikTok, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, video games, or simply the habit of checking your phone whenever you feel bored. Then commit to taking a break from it for a few days. 3 days is a good start. 7 days will give you a much clearer experience. During that time, the goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to give your brain a chance to escape the cycle of constant stimulation and begin resetting its own reward system. But there is one mistake that many people make. They focus only on removing easy sources of dopamine and leave an empty space behind. The problem is that the brain doesn't like a vacuum. If you quit mindless social media scrolling without replacing it with something else, there's a good chance you'll fall back into the same habit. So don't just remove, replace. Read a few pages of a book, go for a walk outside, exercise, write in a journal, or learn a new skill. At first, these activities may not feel very rewarding, but over time, your brain will learn to find satisfaction in the things that genuinely add value to your life. One of the most remarkable things about the brain is that it is constantly learning from what you repeatedly do. At first, reading may test your patience. Exercise may feel exhausting. Deep, focused work may seem difficult. But every time you continue doing those things, your brain receives a new signal. It begins to associate effort with reward. It starts to recognize that meaningful activities can also be deeply satisfying. Gradually, what once felt like an obligation becomes a habit, and what was once a habit becomes something you genuinely want to do. That is how the brain learns to love the things that are truly good for you. There is a huge difference between pleasure and fulfillment. Pleasure comes quickly, with just a tap on a screen, a new video, a new notification, an instant reward. But the feeling fades just as quickly, and soon after, the brain wants more. Fulfillment, on the other hand, arrives more slowly. It comes after a workout, after completing a difficult task, after keeping a promise you made to yourself. It doesn't hit as intensely as pleasure, but it lasts far longer. And it is fulfillment, not pleasure, that builds confidence, purpose, and a genuine sense of happiness in life. That is why discipline provides a reward that instant pleasures can never replace. Every time you complete something difficult, your brain doesn't just receive dopamine. It also gains a sense of pride, a sense of progress, and a stronger belief in yourself. That is why 1 hour of exercise can feel far more rewarding than hours of mindless scrolling. Not because it is more comfortable, but because it creates real value. Discipline always requires effort in the present, but in return, it offers rewards that are greater, deeper, and far more lasting in the future. What's fascinating is that discipline doesn't just change your behavior, it changes your brain itself. Every time you resist a distraction and focus on something more important, the neural pathways associated with self-control become stronger, just like a muscle that grows through consistent training. At first, staying focused may feel incredibly difficult, but each time you make the right choice, your brain learns a new lesson. Gradually, discipline stops feeling like a constant battle. It becomes your default state, and the things that once required tremendous willpower begin to feel more natural than ever before. After a period of retraining your brain, you'll begin to notice some very clear changes. Your ability to focus improves. Tasks that once tested your patience become easier to start. You are no longer constantly pulled away by notifications or unconscious urges. Your mind becomes clearer. Your energy becomes more stable. And most importantly, you begin to feel like you are in control of your life, rather than being controlled by it. This is not a temporary burst of motivation. It is the result of a brain that has learned how to find rewards in the things that truly matter. But there is one truth that many people overlook. You cannot win if your environment is constantly pulling you toward distraction. Willpower is important, but your environment is even more important. If your phone is always within reach, you'll feel the urge to check it. If social media is only one tap away, you'll be easily drawn into it. So, don't just try to become stronger. Design a smarter environment. Keep your phone out of sight. Remove unnecessary temptations, and make good habits the easiest option available. Because sometimes victory doesn't come from fighting distraction. It comes from preventing the distraction from appearing in the first place. There is another factor quietly shaping your brain every single day: the people you spend your time with. Human beings naturally absorb habits, ways of thinking, and behaviors from those around them. If the people in your environment are constantly seeking instant entertainment, you are more likely to be pulled in that direction as well. If distraction is considered normal within your circle, staying focused becomes much harder. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who value growth, discipline, and long-term goals, you gradually begin to move in the same direction. Because your environment doesn't just influence your actions, it influences the person you become. Many people believe that freedom means being able to do whatever you want. But if you cannot control your attention, are you truly free? If a notification can break your focus, if a short video can steal hours of your life, if your impulses constantly decide how you spend your time, then perhaps you are not the one in control. True freedom is not about doing what is easiest. It is about having the ability to choose what is right, even when it is difficult. It is about mastering your mind rather than being controlled by it. And that is exactly what discipline gives you. And now the most important question is not how much you've understood. It's what you're going to do after this video ends. Because knowledge does not change your life. Action does. So start today with one small decision. Ask yourself, what is the biggest source of empty dopamine stealing your time? TikTok, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, or the habit of constantly checking your phone? Choose one, just one, and commit to staying away from it for the next 7 days. It may seem like a very small step, but sometimes a life-changing transformation begins with a decision that's small.